Hello, Daphne here with another video for you, and this one's an exciting one. How about taking a trip around the world? That is something that my husband and I have wanted to do for a very long time. So one night over dinner, we sat down and had a long discussion about where some of the places we should travel to as we make this trip around planet Earth. Part of our goal was to end up in places that I have never been. I have been to, I believe it's 47 countries worldwide. So I personally wanted to add special places to the list of destinations that I had never seen before and to share them with my husband, and we would both agree on what these different places would be. So while we're eating dinner, I'm madly going around and clicking in different destinations to see which ones we might choose. So we had a wonderful time on our imaginary trip, and so many different places we discussed. But we finally ended up with a great itinerary, and it all began by taking off from Dallas, Texas. So our first stop was in Chile. We would head from Santiago up to the Atacama Desert to see that amazingly huge statue of the hand out in the middle of nowhere in that desert. And then from there we would head towards one of the most unbelievably great, and I think one of the best, observatories in the world. And from there we would have a look at the heavens on a dark, dark night sky into the constellations from that observatory, which apparently the sightings from there are incredible because there's no ambient light to take away from the view. And I can only imagine how wonderful it would be to have an astronomer explaining to us everything that we were seeing out there in the universe. I've always wanted to do that. I think that would be a very sort of mystical, magical, and even spiritual experience to see this constellations up close. So anyway, from there we would head back to Santiago and hop on a plane for Easter Island. Oh, what an exotic island that is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I've always wanted to go there. Why? Because I have been fascinated by the Moai statues. How in the world those ancient people built those huge stone structures or sculptures or whatever you want to call them is absolutely, I think it's one of the wonders of the world in my opinion. And not only did they carve them, but then they had to transport them. And how they did that is an incredible mystery that I don't think even archaeologists to this day know how that amazing feat was accomplished. So this intrepid traveler wants to see those Moai statues, and wouldn't it be beautiful to see the sun going down behind them? All right, from there we head to Singapore. Singapore is such an incredibly beautiful city with an amazing history, ancient structures. And did you know that it is one of the cleanest cities in the entire world? You can end up in jail if you don't behave yourself. But I've always wanted to visit Singapore. It's a very special place in Asia, and my husband wants to see it too. So we put Singapore on our list. Now, let me see, where did we go from Singapore? We went to Papua New Guinea. Why Padua, you probably are wondering. That's not on the top of the most exciting destinations in the world, but in my world travels, I have had a favorite question which I like to ask people, and that is, where in the world would you go if you only had one more trip to take? And I've been astounded. A couple of people have said Papua New Guinea. So my husband and I decided we're going to go there and check out all the reasons why that was on the top of their last destinations on this earth. Then from Padua, we're going to end up in Sydney, Australia. We have always wanted to see the Sydney Opera House, and an adventure we've always wanted to take is to climb up on top of the bridge over Sydney Harbor. What an amazing bird's eye view that would be. And of course, we would love to hear a performance inside the Sydney Opera House. From Sydney, we're going to take a short hop over to New Zealand, one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth. Plus, my husband and I are both golfers, so we would like to play a round of golf or two or three at some of their famous golf courses. And I love rugby. And our favorite team, and that goes for both my husband and me, is the New Zealand All Black rugby team. What a treat it would be for us to watch a match there, because we've only been able to watch it on TV. We've never been able to see one in person. So there you have it. Along with the absolutely exquisite scenery. Mother Nature worked overtime in New Zealand, and I think it would be fun to have a chance to see all those breathtaking landscapes all over New Zealand. Okay, from there we're going to go to Angkor Wat, Cambodia. That is an ancient place that has endless fascination for both my husband and me. So that is one of our stops in Asia. From there to India. India, I have always for my entire life wanted to see the Taj Mahal. That is one of the most beautiful buildings that has ever been constructed, in my opinion, in the history of the world. And to stand there in front of it and look at all the beautiful details of that ancient structure would be, breathtaking. And I also love the story of why it was built. A husband that was in mourning felt compelled to do something spectacular to honor his deceased wife. What a touching love story that was. So the Taj Mahal is one place that we will definitely get to see on our trip around the world. From there, we're going to head to Tanzania. Now, I have been to Tanzania. That is the only stop on this trip where I have not ventured. But Tanzania is an amazing place, and we will head straight for the Ngorongoro crater, an ancient caldera teeming with wildlife. My husband and I will have such a treat because we'll stay at that gorgeous lodge known as the Ngorongoro Crater Lodge. That's right smack on the edge of that caldera. Okay, from there we're off to a place I have wanted to visit my entire life. I enjoyed studying Egyptian history when I was in high school and college, and it's always fascinated me, but I've never had a chance to go there for some strange reason. So my husband and I are going to definitely go to see the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens and Luxor, and then to Giza to see the Sphinx and the pyramids. Oh, I can't wait to lay my eyes on those amazing places. Just being there will be a really true, step back in time to an absolutely, interesting and wonderful ancient culture. So from Egypt, we're going to head to Budapest, Hungary. I've been to a lot of destinations in Europe, but I've never been to Hungary, and Budapest is known as the Jewel of the Nile. So we will have an amazing time there. Another city with so much history to enjoy and to absorb. All right, our next stop is another place I have always longed to go. There's something mysterious about Iceland, something special about Iceland. So we're going to head for Reykjavik and spend a couple of days there in one of the most beautiful places on the earth. And I can't wait to look at all the fjords and the ice, the huge glaciers there. It must be an absolutely spectacular sight. So, my friends, that is our last stop on our trip around the world. So off we'll head back to home and land at Dallas International Airport with so many fabulous, interesting, and I'm sure unexpected experiences that we have no idea will be part of this amazing trip. And I have to say that if we get to go on a trip like this, it will definitely be one of the main highlights of my lifetime. And what a wonderful, wonderful experience to do with my husband by my side and visiting so many spectacular destinations in our once-in-a-lifetime trip around the world.